Grand Marshal Kethvar closed his eyes and tried to calm the panic spreading through his neural network. Around him, the command bridge of the dreadnought Eternal Dominion buzzed with frantic activity as his officers attempted to coordinate what remained of the Galactic Defense Coalition. "Status report," he commanded, his voice carrying the weight of desperation. "Sir," replied Commander Yalix, her crystalline form flickering with stress-induced light patterns, "we've lost the entire Fourth Fleet. The Devourers have broken through the Kepler defense line. At current rate of advance, they'll reach the core worlds within 72 hours. Kethvar's mandibles clicked in frustration. The Devourers, an ancient mechanical plague that consumed entire star systems, had returned after millennia of dormancy. Despite the combined might of 17 galactic civilizations, they were losing. Badly. "What about reinforcements?" he asked, though he already knew the answer. "The Zephyrian Empire has committed their last reserves," reported Tactical Officer Brennix. "The crystalline hegemony is down to defense fleets only. The Void Swimmers, they've gone silent. We assume their territories have been overrun." The weight of inevitable defeat settled over the bridge like a shroud. In 3 days, billions of years of galactic civilization would come to an end, consumed by machines that turned living worlds into more of themselves. "Sir," called out the communications officer, "we're receiving a priority transmission from the Archive Keepers on Sanctuary Prime." Kethvar straightened. The Archive Keepers were the galaxy's oldest historians, their monastery station containing records dating back to the dawn of spaceflight. If anyone had a solution, it would be them. The main view screen shimmered, revealing Elder Thassan, his ancient features marked by centuries of accumulated wisdom. "Grand Marshal," the Elder began without preamble, "we have studied the ancient texts. There may be a possibility. Speak quickly, Elder. We're running out of time and hope." Elder Thassan's expression was troubled. "The oldest records speak of a species that once fought the Devourers. They called themselves Humanes. But Grand Marshal, these are legends. Myths passed down through countless generations. Most scholars believe they were merely allegorical." Commander Yalix's crystals chimed with skepticism. "Elder, with respect, we need practical solutions, not fairy tales." "The myths describe them as the Silent Guardians," Thassan continued, ignoring the interruption. "Beings who appeared only in the galaxy's darkest hours, who fought from ships that danced between the stars and wielded weapons that spoke with the voice of creation itself." Kethvar felt his hopes crumbling. "Elder, even if these humans once existed, they clearly don't anymore. We've mapped every star system, contacted every spacefaring species. There are no unknown civilizations left to discover." "Perhaps," the Elder said quietly, "that's because they didn't want to be discovered." Before anyone could respond, every sensor on the bridge erupted in alarm. Proximity warnings, energy spikes, and gravitational anomalies flooded the displays in a cascade of impossible readings. "Report." Kethvar barked. "Sir," stammered the sensor operator, "I'm detecting massive signatures throughout the system. Ships, hundreds of them, but they're not showing up on visual scanners. Cloaked vessels? No, sir, this is different. It's like they're phasing in from somewhere else entirely." The main view screen flickered, and suddenly space around them was no longer empty. Sleek vessels materialized out of nothingness, their hulls seeming to absorb and reflect light in patterns that hurt to look at directly. They moved with a fluid grace that defied physics, gliding between the Coalition fleet like schools of metallic fish. "Unknown vessels," Kethvar transmitted on all frequencies. "Identify yourselves immediately." A new voice responded, clear, calm, and speaking in perfect galactic standard despite coming from ships that shouldn't exist. "Grand Marshal Kethvar of the Galactic Defense Coalition. This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Terran Fleet." We received your distress signals. Terran? Yolix whispered. That's the mythical homeworld of the humans. Admiral Chen's image appeared on their view screen, a bipedal being with smooth skin and remarkably ordinary features, wearing a simple blue uniform. She looked exactly like the ancient artistic depictions found in the oldest archaeological sites. You're actually real? Kethvar managed. Very real, Grand Marshal. We've been watching this galaxy for a very long time. We only intervene when the situation becomes truly desperate. Her expression grew serious. The Devourers represent an extinction-level threat. We can't allow that. But where have you been? Why hide? Our records show no trace of your species for thousands of years. Admiral Chen smiled sadly. Because the last time we revealed ourselves, we accidentally caused 3 galactic wars, 2 religious schisms, and the collapse of the predecessor empire. Some species worship us as gods, others try to capture us for study, and others attempt to destroy us out of fear. It's easier to remain myths. On the tactical display, the Devourer fleet was approaching a dark tide of mechanical death, stretching across light years. Admiral, Kethvar said urgently, I don't know how powerful your ships are, but those machines have destroyed everything we've thrown at them. Yes, we know. We fought them before, about 12,000 years ago. They're why we've been maintaining our watch. Admiral Chen's image moved slightly as she consulted something off-screen. All Terran vessels, this is Admiral Chen. Weapons free. Execute Protocol Omega. What happened next redefined Kethvar's understanding of warfare. The human ships, fewer than 1,000 against millions of Devourers, didn't charge into battle. Instead, they simply stopped the enemy. Space around the Devourer fleet began to distort, gravity wells forming and dissolving in precise patterns. The mechanical plague found itself trapped in pockets of twisted spacetime, their weapons useless against targets that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. How? Breathed Commander Yolix. The myths spoke truly, Admiral Chen replied. We dance between the stars because we learn to use space itself as a weapon. We speak with the voice of creation because we harness the fundamental forces of the universe. The battle, if it could be called that, lasted exactly 17 minutes. When it ended, the Devourer fleet was gone, not destroyed, but banished to a pocket dimension where they could harm no one. The threat is contained, Admiral Chen announced. We'll be departing now. Wait, Kethvar called out. Will we see you again? Hopefully not, the Admiral replied with a gentle smile. If you see us again, it means something has gone very, very wrong. As the human ships began to fade from view, Elder Thassen's voice crackled over the communication system. The myths were wrong about one thing. They said humans appeared only in our darkest hours. But I think they've been here all along, making sure our darkest hours never lasted too long. The Terran fleet vanished as silently as it had arrived, leaving behind only the saved galaxy and the knowledge that some myths were more real than reality itself.